In Part A, you will hear short conversations between two people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now let us begin Part A.
I can't believe the professor extended the deadline for the project.
Yeah, I was worried I wouldn't finish on time.
What does the man mean?
Did you hear that Sarah got accepted into the PhD program?
That's no surprise. She always aces her exams.
What does the woman imply about Sarah?
I don't know if I should take another course this semester.
Well, you already have a lot on your plate.
What does the man suggest?
My laptop crashed right before I finished my report.
You should always save your work frequently.
What does the woman suggest?
I heard you're planning a trip abroad.
Yeah, but the airfare is sky high these days.
What does the man mean?
I thought the project deadline was extended to next Friday.
No, it was moved up to this Wednesday.
What does the woman mean?
Could you give me a lift to the airport tomorrow morning?
I'd love to, but my car is in the shop.
What does the man imply?
This book is so dense. I can't make sense of a single paragraph.
Why don't you try skimming through the introduction first?
What does the woman suggest the man do?
I haven't seen Mark lately. Do you know where he is?
He's been burning the midnight oil at the lab.
What does the man mean?
I can't believe I failed the statistics test.
Didn't you say you barely studied?
What does the woman imply?
How did the interview go?
Well, I certainly didn't hit it out of the park.
What does the man mean?
The professor's lecture was crystal clear.
Really? I was completely lost.
What can be inferred about the woman?
Have you seen the weather forecast? They said there's a 90% chance of rain.
Sounds like we should take a rain check on our picnic.
What does the man suggest?
I heard you're taking Professor Smith's literature class.
Yes, but I think I bit off more than I can chew.
What does the woman mean?
Have you turned in your research paper?
Not yet. I have to put some finishing touches on it.
What does the man mean?
I thought the professor said the exam would be next Monday.
No, it was rescheduled for this Friday.
What does the woman mean?
Have you finished your history paper yet?
Not even close. I have so much research left to do.
What does the man imply?
I really need to pass this course, but I don't understand the material.
Why don't you ask the professor for some help?
What does the woman suggest?
I haven't seen David around lately.
He's been burning the midnight oil at the office.
What does the man mean?
I was hoping to get a B on my math test, but I barely got a C.
Well, considering you didn't study at all, that's not surprising.
What does the woman imply?
Did you hear that Tom got the promotion?
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised.
What does the man mean?
I don't know whether to take chemistry or physics next semester.
You might want to go with chemistry. I found it much easier than physics.
What does the woman mean?
Have you seen the weather forecast? They said there's a 90% chance of rain.
Sounds like we should take a rain check on our picnic.
What does the man suggest?
Are you going to the conference next weekend?
I'd love to, but my schedule is packed.
What does the woman imply?
Did you submit your application for the internship?
Not yet. I still need to put some finishing touches on it.
What does the man mean?
I thought you were going to take the advanced physics class this semester.
I was, but the professor has a reputation for being impossibly demanding. So, I figured I'd save myself the headache.
What does the woman mean?
Have you had a chance to talk to Professor Harris about your thesis?
I tried, but he was out of town. And now, with all these deadlines, I feel like I'm drowning.
What does the man mean?
I heard Mark's presentation was a disaster.
Well, let's just say public speaking isn't exactly his strong suit.
What does the woman imply?
I thought you were going to that networking event last night.
I was, but at the last minute, my car wouldn't start, and calling a cab would have cost me an arm and a leg.
What does the man mean?
I need to finish my research paper by tomorrow, but my laptop just crashed.
Talk about bad timing. Have you tried using the library computers?
What does the woman suggest? In Part B, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now let us begin Part B. Listen to a conversation between 2 students, Lisa and Mark, about an upcoming campus event.
Hey Mark, have you heard about the campus career fair next week? I think it's a great opportunity for us to explore job options and network with professionals.
Yeah, I saw the posters around campus. I'm definitely planning to go. Do you know which companies are going to be there?
I checked the list online. There are over 50 companies from various industries, including tech, finance, and healthcare. I'm particularly interested in the tech companies because I'm majoring in computer science.
That's cool. I'm more interested in the finance sector since I'm studying business administration. I heard some big names like Global Finance and Capital Bank will be there. Have you prepared your resume yet?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. I want to make sure it's polished before the fair. What about you?
I've updated mine, but I need to print a few copies. I also plan to bring some business cards. Do you think that's necessary?
Definitely. Business cards can make a good impression. I'll make some too. Also, we should prepare a short elevator pitch to introduce ourselves to recruiters.
Good idea. Let's practice our pitches together before the fair. Maybe we can meet tomorrow at the library?
Sure, that works for me. Let's aim for 3 p.m. I'll bring my laptop so we can finalize our resumes and practice.
Perfect. I'll see you tomorrow then. Thanks, Lisa.
No problem, Mark. See you tomorrow.
Number 31. What is the main topic of Lisa and Mark's conversation? Number 32. Which industry is Lisa most interested in? Number 33. What does Mark plan to bring to the career fair? Number 34. When do Lisa and Mark plan to meet to prepare for the career fair? Number 35. What do Lisa and Mark plan to practice together? Listen to a conversation between two students, Emily and David, about a problem with their group assignment.
Hey David, do you have a minute? I need to talk to you about our group assignment for the biology class. I'm really worried because the deadline is in 3 days, and we haven't even started.
Yeah, I know. I've been busy with my part-time job, but I realize we need to get this done. What have you done so far?
I've done some research on the topic, the effects of climate change on marine life, but I'm not sure how to organize the information. I think we should divide the work so we can finish it on time.
That makes sense. How about I take the section on the impact of rising sea temperatures, and you focus on ocean acidification? We can then combine our parts and write the conclusion together.
That sounds good. But we also need to include some data or graphs to support our points. Do you think you can handle that?
Sure, I can work on the visuals. I'll look for some reliable sources and create a few charts. What about the presentation? Should we start preparing for that too?
Yes, we should. Let's meet tomorrow at the library after class to go over our research and start working on the presentation slides. We can also practice our delivery then.
Alright, that works for me. Let's aim to finish the slides by Thursday so we have time to rehearse before the deadline.
Perfect. I'll bring my notes tomorrow, and we can get started. Thanks, David.
No problem, Emily. See you tomorrow.
Number 36. What is the main topic of Emily and David's group assignment? Number 37. What section of the assignment does David agree to work on? Number 38. What task does David agree to handle for the assignment? Number 39. When do Emily and David plan to meet to work on the assignment? Number 40. What is their goal for finishing the presentation slides? In Part C, you will hear several talks. After each talk, you will hear several questions. The talks and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now let us begin Part C. Listen to a monologue given by a professor in a history class.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to discuss the causes and effects of the American Civil War, which took place from 1861 to 1865. This war was one of the most significant events in American history, and it had profound impacts on the nation's future. The primary cause of the Civil War was the issue of slavery. The Southern states relied heavily on slavery for their agricultural economy, particularly in cotton production. On the other hand, the Northern states had industrialized and no longer depended on slavery. This economic divide created tension between the North and the South. Another major cause was the debate over states' rights. The Southern states believed they had the right to govern themselves and make decisions about slavery without federal interference. However, the Northern states argued that the federal government should have the final say. The war began when Southern states seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. The first major battle took place at Fort Sumter in 1861. Over the next 4 years, the war resulted in significant loss of life and destruction. The Civil War ended in 1865 with the victory of the Union. One of the most important outcomes was the abolition of slavery through the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Additionally, the war strengthened the power of the federal government and led to the Reconstruction era, which aimed to rebuild the South and integrate formerly enslaved people into society. Now, let's move on to discuss the key battles of the Civil War and their significance.
Number 41. What is the main topic of the professor's lecture? Number 42. What was the primary cause of the American Civil War? Number 43. What does the professor say about the Southern states' economy? Number 44. What was one major outcome of the Civil War? Number 45. What does the professor plan to discuss next? Listen to a monologue given by a professor in an environmental science class.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to discuss the concept of renewable energy and its importance in addressing climate change. Renewable energy refers to energy sources that are naturally replenished, such as solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal power. Unlike fossil fuels, which are finite and contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, renewable energy offers a sustainable alternative. One of the most widely used forms of renewable energy is solar power. Solar panels capture sunlight and convert it into electricity. This technology has become increasingly affordable and efficient over the years, making it a popular choice for both residential and commercial use. Another important source is wind energy. Wind turbines generate electricity by harnessing the power of wind. Countries with vast open spaces, like the United States and Germany, have invested heavily in wind farms. However, one challenge with wind energy is that it depends on weather conditions and is not always consistent. Hydropower, which uses flowing water to generate electricity, is another key renewable energy source. Dams are built to control water flow and produce energy. While hydropower is reliable, it can have environmental impacts, such as disrupting local ecosystems and fish populations. Finally, geothermal energy, which uses heat from the Earth's core, is a less common but highly efficient renewable energy source. It is particularly useful in regions with volcanic activity, like Iceland. The transition to renewable energy is crucial for reducing carbon emissions and combating climate change. Governments and private sectors worldwide are investing in research and infrastructure to make renewable energy more accessible. Now, let's move on to discuss the challenges and opportunities associated with implementing renewable energy on a global scale.
Number 46. What is the main topic of the professor's lecture? Number 47. Which renewable energy source is mentioned as being dependent on weather conditions? Number 48. What is one challenge associated with hydropower? Number 49. What does the professor say about solar power? Number 50. What does the professor plan to discuss next?